Holger Nelson Toftoy was born on October 31, 1902 in Illinois. He preferred to use his childhood nickname of Ludi, a name that comes from a Norwegian fish that was a family favorite. His penchant for innovation began at an early age. While a teenager, he built his own automobile from an old gasoline engine and bicycle parts. He attended the University of Wisconsin for 2 years before entering the U.S. Military Academy, graduating from there in 1926. Commissioned in the Army Air Corps after graduation, Ludi Toftoy soon discovered that the Coast Artillery Corps might offer a better future for him.
And I think I'll just say that they didn't have too many planes in those days, and they thought sooner or later it'd be me or a plane, and they'd better get along without me.
He worked his way up the ranks, becoming one of the Army's foremost mine experts of the World War II era. In 1944, as a colonel, Toftoy became chief of the Army Ordnance Technical Teams assigned to Europe to seek out and evaluate captured enemy weapons and equipment. Little did anyone know this position would lead to a chain of events that would soon have a profound effect on the history of the Army's rocket and guided missile efforts in the United States. It was Toftoy who recognized the value of bringing Wernher von Braun and his team of German scientists and engineers to the United States as World War II ended.
General Toftoy knew that they were several years ahead of our own development program. It was therefore imperative that the knowledge they gained be transferred to the United States for use in our early stages of our rocket program.
After much persuasion, he was able to bring the key members of this team and their equipment to the United States, where they settled at Fort Bliss, Texas. By 1948, Toftoy realized that the management of the Ordnance Corps' rocket activities needed to be decentralized into a field organization. He picked Redstone Arsenal as the home of the Corps' consolidated rocket activities. After learning that Fort Bliss could not accommodate the new facilities needed for the Army's growing guided missile mission, Ludi Toftoy became the catalyst for relocating the von Braun team to the facilities located at the Huntsville Arsenal. Toftoy often told the story of being sent by the Chief of Ordnance to meet with General Matthew Ridgway, the Army Vice Chief of Staff, to try to convince him to permit the move of the Fort Bliss mission to the old Huntsville Arsenal area. Toftoy recalled that his map was so large that he had to spread it across the floor. He soon found that his pointer was not long enough, so he had to crawl around on the map as he pled his case. Finally, Toftoy found himself on his hands and knees right next to General Ridgway. He looked up at the general, gave him a great smile, and said, "I'm really on my hands and knees, literally and figuratively, begging for this place." Thanks to Toftoy's tenacity and the shrewd lobbying by Senator John Sparkman, Congressman Bob Jones, and officials from the Huntsville area, the Secretary of the Army approved the transfer of the von Braun team on October 28, 1949. By the time they arrived in April of 1950, Huntsville Arsenal's land and facilities had been consolidated into Redstone Arsenal. The Army at Redstone Arsenal thus entered a decade that brought it worldwide acclaim. In November of 1948, the Arsenal had only about 250 employees. That number climbed dramatically throughout the decade, totaling more than 16,900 by June 30, 1960. As Redstone grew, so did the city of Huntsville, which had a population of about 16,000 in 1950. By 1960, however, its population had increased about 350%, totaling more than 72,000. General Toftoy received his first assignment to Redstone in 1952 and remained here for the next 6 years. Those who worked with him remembered that one of his favorite sayings was, "Let's use common sense now, not as a last resort." An example would be his reaction when told that there was not enough money to build a static test stand at the arsenal for the Redstone missiles. Unwilling to take no for an answer, he built the test stand out of scrap metal and converted old phosphorus tanks into a blockhouse. That test stand is now a National Historic Landmark. By the time he left Redstone Arsenal in 1958 to assume the duties of Commanding General at Aberdeen Proving Ground, scientists, engineers, and technicians at Redstone had transformed such weapons as the Honest John, Little John, Corporal, Sergeant, Redstone, Hawk, Nike Ajax, and Nike Hercules from dreams and plans into realities. The perception and perseverance of the recognized father of the Army's missile and rocket program also paved the way for this nation's scientific space program. Werner von Braun once said that Ludi Toftoy believed that his destiny was tied up in the stars. A shining example would be Explorer 1, America's first artificial satellite, which was conceived, designed, and built under his direction. As he departed from Redstone Arsenal, General Toftoy received the Army's highest peacetime award, the Distinguished Service Medal, for his exceptionally meritorious direction of the Army's rocket and guided missile programs. Huntsville and Madison County gave Toftoy and his family a huge send-off, hosting a Toftoy Day, full of parades, speeches, and the dedication of a monument established in Big Spring Park that honored the man they affectionately called Mr. Missile. General Toftoy remained at Aberdeen as its commander until his retirement in 1960, after 34 years of Army service. He died on April 19, 1967, and was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. A few months later, Redstone Arsenal dedicated both a building and a road in his honor. Redstone Arsenal and the local community have developed and grown tremendously over the years, based on the firm foundation that Ludi Toftoy so expertly crafted for the research, development, and management of missile and rocket programs. Without a doubt, he would have been extremely proud that his arsenal was now also a part of a dynamic new future in the world of aviation. We pay tribute to Ludi Toftoy as a visionary, a man who dreamed no little dreams, a man who attempted much and achieved greatness, a modest man who loved life and who was a warm-hearted and compassionate friend, and a good soldier who commanded the respect, loyalty, and affection that were given so freely to him. It has been said that few prophets live to see their dreams become reality. Ludi Toftoy did.
Under his direction, the Army guided missile program actually came to maturity.
Senator John Sparkman best summed up Toftoy's contributions to Redstone Arsenal and North Alabama when he wrote, "I shall always remember General Toftoy as the man who was really responsible for the revival and rebuilding of Redstone Arsenal." One can only wonder what would have happened to this area without Toftoy's crusade to centralize the Army's rocket and guided missile programs at Redstone Arsenal. Thank you, Mr. Missile. Redstone Arsenal and its surrounding areas will be forever in your debt.